Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a good one. So let's dig into this. CoinFLEX is saying that they loaned, right? Blockchain.com 3 million Flex tokens. And blockchain.com is basically saying, nah, that's not what happened, son. And I'm sitting back and I'm just going, wow, that's about $4.3 million that you were given, in tokens. And I find it hard to believe that it's not a loan. So I think that's going to wind up playing out in court, and we should be paying attention to that because these are two known exchanges, and that's going to be a problem going forward. Oasis, they were ordered by the High Court of England to do what they had to do to recover as much money that was stolen during the Wormhole hack. Now, Oasis is the platform that everything happened on. Wormhole is developed by Jump Trading, and that's who got hacked. They were able to recover about $198 million. Now, I'm not going to get into details about how they did it. You can read some articles about there, do some research out there to actually figure that out. But wow, that's a lot of money to recover. That's freaking awesome. That's freaking awesome. That's almost 2/3 of the money that they got back, and I'm pretty sure they're still hammering to try to get the rest of it. Something else that I'm paying attention to is we all know that Shibarium is coming. In that, play, the team over there is saying, "Listen, we have a new portal that you can hop on and take a peek, but just don't use the beta tokens." I mean, it is in beta; it's not released yet, so don't use the beta tokens. But listen. Moving into, hey, we're that close to having Shibarium, and they're trying to go for adoption. Can't blame them for that. I think that's a great idea. I was listening to an interview or reading an interview with Yat Su. He's the CEO of Animoca Brands, and he's saying, listen, Blur has already taken some market share from OpenSea. They've surpassed OpenSea by the amount of trading that they've done, and they're looking to do more. But how is the question? And the how is basically they're not charging fees. That's going to come at some point. And they're also not enforcing creator royalties. Let that wash over you for a minute. The people that created these NFTs are supposed to be making money off of future sales of the NFTs. And they're not enforcing it. That's called grabbing market share on the backs of creators. And I'm not a fan of that. It takes work. It takes hard work to develop these things, to mint these things. It costs money. So to take that away from creators is not cool. So I'm not going to be a fan of Blur until they fix that one problem. But yeah, that's not a great thing. They are foregoing profit margin for market share, which means that what's going to come once they figured out that they've got enough market share where they can start gently introducing fees. It's a common ploy, but we should be paying attention to it, especially when it's hurting, the very people, that drive their platform. Just, wow, really? So that's something I'm paying attention to. Gary Gensler just won't stop the nonsense. His continued regulatory hammering or persecution of crypto is going to lead toward crypto leaving the United States en masse. I want you to stop and think about that. That's not a small thing to say. It's not like, wishing it. But if he continues on this course, that's what we're looking at, right? Right now, you have Europe saying, hey, come over here. We'll treat you better. There are all kinds of reasons to move over to Europe if you're a crypto firm. And the United States is basically trying to kick everybody out. First of all, you don't know what the guardrails are. You don't know when you can step out of line. You don't know anything. So without that kind of transparency, Gary Gensler is running the space like it's the wild, wild west. And it's like, dude, you've been late to the game on so many different things. Had you provided guardrails before, we probably wouldn't have had Celsius. We probably wouldn't have had Voyager. We probably wouldn't have had, FTX, or we would have seen things sooner. So at some point, when is somebody going to tap Gary Gensler, and that's Stitch? When is somebody going to tap Gary Gensler and say, hey, look, listen, bud, when are you going to actually play fairly? That's the idea, right? So I have a problem with that. Solana. Now, I reported that Solana was down. They were down for about 20 hours this weekend. That's almost a full day. A full day that everything was just frozen in time. They had to try to restart twice before they could get it right. That's a problem. Come here, Stitchy. Come here. No? Okay. There you go. He wants to play catch. So I'm looking at that and I'm just going, you know, over a dozen times over the past 2 years, Solana's been down. I love the project, except for that, which means that I can't develop anything on Solana. If I'm going to be down for 24 hours, however that happens, that means that you haven't fixed a major flaw on your platform. Fix it. You got to fix it. And I know that you're recovering. I know the team is recovering, as quickly as they can. They're trying to work through it, but they got to fix that problem before, before they can gain real adoption. Because I just can't see myself, doing anything on that platform until they do. Which means that what are the platforms that you would be looking at? You'd be looking at Cardano, Polygon. If Shibarium works out, you'll be looking at Shibarium, right? There are lots of other layer twos that we could be running on. Lots of other layer ones you could be running on. There's got to be some kind of a fix for Solana in the future, and until they say so, I'm just gonna let that go. I'm gonna let it lie. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, anyway, let's get to the numbers. That's what we're really here for, right? Bam. So let me just refresh this because it's been like 7 minutes since I refreshed the last time. Probably not much has changed. There you go. Let's see who's hurting. You go right here because I have that 5% rule, and there's nobody here that I'm paying attention to. I will make note that Quant dropped 3%. I will make note that Hedera dropped 4%, only because would I expect them to jump over here to this side at some point? And my answer would be yes. And if so, that means if they wind up on the other side, that's a swing of 4% to get to 0, and then whatever percentage up. So that's what I would be paying attention to. If you're a crypto trader and not a crypto investor, you're looking for moves like that, and you're doing those kinds of comparisons. So who did go up? Stacks went up. Of course they did, because of everything that's going on. And Stitch wants me to play fetch again. With the whole thing that's going on with Bitcoin and introducing NFTs and all that good stuff. That's why Stacks is popping. Who else is over here that I'm paying attention to? Nervous Network up 5%. That's pretty cool. That's CKB. Arweave is up 5%. That's pretty cool. That's AR. Anybody else I'm paying attention to? No, there's nobody over there that I'm paying attention to, except that we just did that story on Flex. So Flex coin is up 4%. So again, I'd be looking at both sides, it playing both sides of the coin, right? I'm looking for a coin that I love to wind up on this side, because then I can expect to wind up being back on this side. Right? These are the negatives. These are the top 25 losers. These are the top 25 winners. That's what I pay attention to. Next up, we have a lot of information coming out this week. Of course, you have a jobs report that's coming out sooner or later. You have consumer confidence that's coming up. You have core orders, pending home sales. So you have a lot of information that's happening this week that we could be paying attention to. Again, based on the news that we got last week, until we get other news, I'm banking my numbers on a 50 basis point move. People are probably going to freak out about that, but until proven otherwise, that's what I'm listening to. All right. And then you have Fed Governor Jefferson speaking out later today, and that's something to pay attention to. The fear and greed index is at 50, which means that we're in a neutral zone. And that's not bad. I think there's still a lot of pent up energy. We're just waiting for certain catalysts to happen. looking at Bitcoin, again, Bitcoin took a hit, and we're currently around 23.4. We're just a hair above 23.417. But this is what I noted yesterday, is that we dipped down below that 23.417, and we were battling to get back, and we did. So I think the market is trying to establish 23.417 as that line of demarcation that we should be paying attention to. And then the next batter up would be 25.210, and then after that 28,028. Those are all important numbers to me. Hitting 25,000 doesn't mean anything, at least not to me. It's not going to mean anything. Maintaining above that 23.417 is a big deal to me. The way that we came back to be above 23.417, that is something I'm paying very, very, very close attention to. Because if we maintain below 23.417 for too long of a time, I think that I'm going to be thinking that it's going to go down, and I'm going to pause my DCA strategy so that if it goes down a little bit more, I can key in with bigger money on the downside versus the upside. I mean, I'm not going to stop my DCA, but I'll pull out some of that money that I was going to use in hopes that it will go down a little bit more so I can get in at the lowest point. I can't call a bottom, but I can definitely react to what looks like a bottom, right? So looking at the big picture, if it would pop up, that would be nice. Let me refresh the screen for you guys. There you go. Let's get rid of the ads. That's just too much rah-rah going on for me, for my nerves. So like I said, just above 23.417 for BTC. Ethereum is still above 1600 at 1638. But these are all numbers that I'm paying attention to only because it kind of gives me a feel for what's going on in the marketplace on a go forward, right? Something else that I always look at, and I tell you guys almost every day, pay attention to, all of these numbers, the 1 hour, 24 hour, 7 day, 30 day, 90 day, year to date, right? And then there's one other number that you should be paying attention to, and that's the all-time high. Compare everything to the all-time high. And everybody says, why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep saying that? I keep saying that because if you pay attention to the all-time high and you have faith that they're going to hit the all-time high again, well, you know the runway that you have. Okay, that's the runway that you have to get in on a project, get in on a coin. And in some cases, it's going to be multiples, right? If you're down 80%, what's the multiple? See what I mean? So you're looking at opportunities to get in, even when the price goes up a little bit. Let's suppose Bitcoin hits 25,000. It's still off the $69,000 high. So chill, get your DCA strategy in play, and start making your investments. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope you have a good one. If you have any questions, do me a favor, just drop a note, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.